Hi everyone. I'm going to be introducing you to someone very special today, part of our growing Conservative team on Parliament Hill. And what is this, like you grew up in Kitimat, it must be a hell of a lot different now than when you were a kid.
Oh, night and day. Night and day, especially as an elected leader. Because early on in my elected career as a councillor, I realized, number one, we had no money. Number two, we were restricted by the Indian Act. And I was raised by two parents that went to residential school. They were sent by their parents. But I was always taught to be independent, not to ask for any help. So when I realized part of my job was to go to Ottawa to ask for money, I refused. But I did need something to get our people employed, get them out of poverty, and to get our council closer to being an independent government working model. And everything I saw up to date had failed. And so I was trying to think, what do I do next? So economic development in a roundabout way came to be the answer. And it's succeeded in so many different ways that I never imagined. I mean, the people determining their own future, the council determining their own future, and the Indian Act becoming less and less relevant. It's just beyond my wildest dreams.
And can we replicate it in other places? Yeah, how do we do that?
Well, when I go to talk to First Nations, I talk to them and tell them, you got to know what you want. You have to know what you want. And ultimately, if you do want independence, you do want a future for your kids and your grandkids, you're going to have to embrace change. And change is not easy. And for that, you're going to have to elect the leadership or select your leadership that can reflect what you really want. It's not easy. It wasn't easy for us. I mean, we started in 2004 with this idea. And it was very painful to get to the point where we are today, and nobody really remembers those days. But it was worth it to see the younger generation not knowing or caring about the Indian Act.
Right.
Not knowing what it's like to be on welfare, like I know how. Or what it's like to collect unemployment insurance annually, like I know how. It's a completely different world. And I've always said that if my kids and my grandkids don't know anything about the Indian Act or don't know anything about poverty or welfare, then my generation did their job well.
Right.
They should be addressing different issues in their lifetime.
So you're basically breaking the control and bureaucracy that held the community down. The control from Ottawa, I mean to say.
Yes.
That held the community down for so long. Now you're breaking that and replacing it with an independence that comes from resource development, jobs, opportunity.
Without a doubt. And it branches out from there. I'm talking to so many different leaders now. And Billy Moran, your other MP, they've advanced so far. They've gone beyond what we've done.
They're on Enoch. I mean, he was the chief there. He inherited a huge debt and a high unemployment rate, and he balanced the budget. He paid down a bunch of the debt, and he got the unemployment down to almost nothing.
Yeah. Well, who's got the better deal in that equation, right? It's not us. But that was one of the motivating factors behind us. Not just to lift our people out of poverty, which we accomplished, but also looking at the global issues around emissions for Asia, Africa, Europe, United States. And that was always our belief that not only are we doing this for the region, we're doing it for the globe.
Right. Well, the Fraser Institute was out with a report just the other day showing that if Canada were to double its natural gas production and send all of the excess to China and India, by displacing dirtier coal, it would actually reduce emissions by about 89% of the total emissions of all of Canada.
Yes.
And something like 600 million tons of emissions would be avoided by displacing dirty coal with clean Canadian gas. LNG Canada is the starting point for that. You've got another project, I think it's called Cedar.
Cedar, that was an agreement that we negotiated with LNG Canada to utilize capacity on their existing pipeline, the Coastal GasLink.
Okay.
So we could build our own.
So you're going to have yet another liquefaction plant for that?
Yes, a floating, but it'll be under the pipeline capacity.
So it'll actually float. It'll float on the...
It'll be floating.
Where will that be? Is it in Kitimat as well?
In Kitimat, at the head of Douglas Channel, just below LNG Canada.
Okay.
And it was land that we acquired almost like 9 years ago. We purchased it, and we kept it in fee simple status because we thought business likes certainty. So we don't want to reinvent the wheel with environmental laws or taxation laws. Let's just utilize what's in place for Canada, BC already. Industry loved that. They came in, yes, we love that idea.
Amazing. And so this floating contraption will receive the gas, compress and cool it, turn it into a liquid. A big tanker will come along. That tanker will be injected with the gas. It'll be filled up and then shipped off to Asia.
Exactly.
Okay.